Marjorie Taylor Greene tried to criticize Joe Biden's infrastructure plan, his Build Back Better plan, during a recent speech she gave, and she actually made him sound really, really great.
Lyndon B. Johnson is very similar to Joe Biden. How are they the same? They're both Democrat socialists. Lyndon B. Johnson was the majority leader in the Senate. Does that sound familiar? He was vice president to Kennedy. Joe was vice president to Obama. He was appointed as the president after JFK was assassinated, then he was elected. His big socialist programs were the Great Society. The Great Society were big government programs to address education, medical care, urban problems, rural poverty, transportation, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, and welfare, the Office of Economic Opportunity, and big labor and labor unions. Now, LBJ had the Great Society, but Joe Biden had Build Back Better, and he still is working on it. The largest public investment in social infrastructure and environmental programs that is actually finishing what FDR started, that LBJ expanded on, and Joe Biden is attempting to complete: socialism. Meanwhile, we are now $32 trillion in debt. With record high homelessness, 40-year record inflation, we're losing the US dollar as the #1 world currency. We're losing our freedoms. Our government is one big fat bloated machine, and it's killing the American dream.
She said he's trying to expand education and medical care, and he's trying to solve urban problems and rural poverty, transportation, Medicare, Medicaid, and big labor and unions. Ooh, the way she said, and big labor and unions. Like it was this big scary thing that's out to get you. Oh, poor Marjorie. I mean, really, all the things she talked about sounded great. Oh, so he wants to work on public works, schools, healthy drinking water, utilities for Americans. Oh, he wants to work on medical care and health, care for the poorest, who are also the most unhealthy in the country, care for the elderly. Oh, how dare he? How dare you, Joe Biden? Urban problems, rural problems, police, fire, access to schools, access to medical care, access to nutrition, jobs, like the semiconductor legislation that Biden passed, which now has us manufacturing again. And a lot of those jobs are in those rural small towns. Terrible. I completely agree, Marjorie. How could he? How could he? He wants to work on transportation. He wants to make it so that the roads and bridges you travel on, they don't crumble. Can you believe it? I can't either, Marge. You tell him. He wants to work on Medicare and Medicaid. Ugh. The things that people would die without, he wants to give those to people. Can you believe it? Ugh. And the big labor and unions. Oh, man, they're the ones who are the worst. They're the ones who kept the kids out of the mines. Can you believe it? They're the ones who work to get you fair pay and health care benefits. Can you believe it? These Democratic socialists. Oh, they sound amazing. Marjorie Taylor Greene also went on to complain about the U.S. and the problems we are having, like the $32 trillion in debt, much of which came from Donald Trump's and the Republican Party's tax cuts for corporations and billionaires that did not trickle down like they said it would. No, Marjorie Taylor Greene says, we're in so much debt, we can't spend any more money. And the Democrats and Biden says, well, those problems are only going to get worse and worse. So let's create a program that saves us billions of dollars in the long run if we can spend billions of dollars to fix the problems. And that's really the difference here between people like Joe Biden and people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she just wants there to be problems so that she can benefit off it politically. And Joe Biden is using his time in the White House to fix the problems. The record homelessness. Okay, Marge. So what are you going to do about it? You can just sit there and complain to your audience of fans. But that's not going to address the real problem that homelessness, it is at an all-time high. But maybe passing semiconductor legislation to improve manufacturing here at home, maybe some of those homeless people will get a job. Maybe if we lower the cost of housing, maybe they'll be able to afford a home, somewhere to live, a roof over their head. Maybe they can use their food stamps and their healthcare coverage to get them to a healthy place so that they can be independent. Democratic socialism, right? It's called caring